Hello, everyone. It's your brother here reaching you again with the word of God. As I receive it in His truth, I give it to you. Today, I'm going to release a mystery to you. Until the Lord gave it to me, I did not know. So maybe some of you are the same. But today, we're going to know this mystery about the end time Babylon. Now, why is it important for us to know? The answer is found in the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4 to 5. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues. For her sins have reached to heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities." God has remembered her iniquities. So come out of her. Now, if you don't know what the Babylon means, how do you know where to come out? Well, today you're going to go deeper into the term Babylon. The ancient time Babylon was a kingdom. Now, whenever you deal with kingdom, you are talking about two elements. You have the king and the domain, which means you have a territory and the king ruling over that territory. It is important for us to understand this revelation. That ancient time Babylon, at a certain point, was ruled by King Nebuchadnezzar. And God caused Nebuchadnezzar to besiege Jerusalem and took Judah into captivity. For 70 years in captivity. Now, whatever happened in the old times will replay itself in the end. Because as it was in the beginning, so shall it be towards the end. The name Babylon comes from the Hebrew word Babel, meaning confusion. So let's turn to the first time that word Babel was used for us to understand the characteristics of this Babylon. Remember, let's turn to Genesis chapter 10. The first time Babel was used, which is same as Babylon in the Greek. Genesis chapter 10, we start from verse 8 to 10. Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh. Therefore, it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahweh, before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. This is the first time Babel has been mentioned in the Bible. And if you realize, it is mentioned in the first book of the Bible. And the end time Babylon is mentioned in the last book of the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. Now this Babylon, or Babel, the meaning means confusion. So let's see how the old time confusion came that will help us to understand the end time confusion. Now let's turn to Genesis chapter 11. Now read from verse 1 to 9. Now the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Then they said to one another, "Come and let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, and the tower whose top is to reach the heavens. let us make name for ourselves, let us be scattered, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord Yahuwah said, indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language. And this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down there and confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore, its name is called Babel, confusion, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of the earth. These people had only one language, Hebrew language, the most ancient language on earth. Because they spoke the same language, they came together to make a name for themselves. And God came and scattered them and gave them different languages. So this confusion involves all nations, all people, all tribes, and all tongues. But towards the end, we are for many nations, many tribes, many tongues coming together as one nation under the new world order that they have proposed and the new one world religion. So in the beginning, one language, one people were scattered to many nations. In the end, the devil also will imitate everything that God does. So in the end, he also brings the whole nation under one language. So, if you understand that confusion that happened then you have idea the confusion that is coming. There are two types of Babylon that the book of Revelation reveals. The physical Babylon and the spiritual Babylon. So let's turn to the book of Revelation, chapter 14. Verse 8. The book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 8. Actually, let me start from verse 6. Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every man, every nation, every tribe, every tongue, and every people, to the whole earth. So this Babylon we are talking about, it comprises of the whole earth. Saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him who made the heaven and the earth, the sea, and the springs of water. And another angel following, saying, Babylon is fallen, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she has made all the nations drink of the wine of her fornication. Because he has made all the nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Babylon is fallen, this great city. So now this Babylon we are talking about, if it's the physical Babylon, it's a place on earth. Okay, now let's turn to Revelation chapter 17. And I'll read from verse 1 to 3. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and talked with me, saying to me, Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot, who sits on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast, which was full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The first Babylon, the Bible describes it as a city. The second Babylon, it describes it as her, a person. But before the Apostle John could see that harlot, that person, that woman, the angel had to take him into the spirit, out of body. So this Babylon we are talking about, it is not physical Babylon. It is spiritual Babylon. You have to be in the spirit to see. You will come back how that Babylon is described later. So now, let's tackle the physical Babylon first. Where is this place that the book of Revelation 14 is talking about, that this Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she has made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. This is a place, a physical place. Now, to know the physical place, this Babylon of the end times, then we have to also go to the physical place, the Babylon, the kingdom of Babylon. And Jeremiah 39. When the kingdom of Babylon besieged Jerusalem, then Jeremiah 39 verse 9, then Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carried away the captives to Babylon, the remnant of the people who remained in the city, and those who defected to him with the rest of the people who remained. But Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, left in the land of Judah the poor people who had nothing, and gave them vineyards and fields at the same time. So God caused Judah to be taken away into Babylon in captivity. But there were remnants, the weak ones, the poor ones, were settled in the land, and they were given vineyards and fields, so they can also prosper in them. Now, in 70 AD, when Jerusalem was attacked and destroyed, at the time you have Judah, the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and half of the Levites in Judea. When the Romans destroyed Jerusalem, Judah moved southwest, all the way to South Sahara. So when you go to the Asian African map, you have what is called the Negro land. It's below Sahara Desert, up to the Gulf of Guinea. That is where Judah, Benjamin, and the part of Levites that were left, that's where they moved to. And there is tons of information supporting that. I don't want to go into that, but I use the Bible to support what I'm saying. Because if you realize if you know where Judah went, God said in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord, Yahuwah, will take you back to Egypt in ships, by the way of which I said to you, you shall never see it again. And there you shall be offered for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one will buy you. So we know at a certain point, there will be some people that will be taken in ships as slaves into certain place. And that is the tribe of Judah. And around the world, where was the slave trade? Did the slave trade take place? Where did they take the slaves from Africa to America? Ghana, Benin, which was Dahomey. The two major slave ports were Elmina and Yahuda, which by its name is Judah. So, all the land from Nigeria, the Igbo land, up to Senegal, were the people who grew up to be Judah, Levites, and Benjamin. In Deuteronomy, God told the Israelites at the time, if you do not obey my voice, I will send you back to Egypt again. Egypt here represents slavery. I will take you back to slavery for you to go and serve. But you realize the commander of the kingdom of Babylon's army left the poor and the weak ones in the land. This is the same method they used during the slavery. They took those who are healthy and strong, and those were the ones selected to be taken away. The weaker ones were left in West Africa. So those who go around the United States saying the Judah, the black Americans are the tribe of Judah. Yes, they are the tribe of Judah, but they are only part of it. They are only part of it. Deuteronomy 28:32. It said, your sons and daughters shall be given to another people, and your eyes shall see and look and fail for longing for them all day long, and there shall be no strength in your hand. So the parents were left behind. They took the sons and the daughters, not children, not because they wanted them to go and farm, to go and labor for them in their plantations. They want people who are ready to go. No weaker ones or children. Those were left in the land. So then, if the ancient time, God caused Judah to go to Babylon, and this end time, he's talking about Babylon, this great city. That is where he will take them to. Same tribe of Judah into Babylon of the end time. So now we know where the true Jews are from, because Jew is not a religion. Those who are in Israel calling themselves Jew by the fact that they practice Judaism. Jew is supposed to be someone who came from the tribe of Judah. We are the real Jews. So where the part of us were taken points to the Babylon, the physical Babylon of the end times. Now we are talking about United States of America, that great city that caused the whole world to drink the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Let's turn to the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his head a blasphemous name. Now, I have already made videos on this, so it is no secret. And whatever God gives me, that's what I speak. And this beast that we are talking about, according to Genesis 1:24, Genesis 1, verse 24. Then God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures according to its kind, the cattle and the creeping things and the beasts of the earth, each according to its kind. And it was so. Whatever God created, he created the environment first and spoke to that environment for what he wants the creature to come out of it. And the creature must remain in that environment in order to live, to produce, and grow, to produce. That is why when you take fish out of sea, the fish will die. So this beast must come from the land. But this one came from the sea, from environment that it is not normal for that beast to come out. So this person, that beast that Revelation 13 is talking about, is the person who came from a place that it is not normal for that person to come and take authority, dominion in the United States. That physical Babylon. That is the first beast. And that is no other than Barack Hussein Obama. And he will come back. So then, if you have identified the physical Babylon, now let's go and identify the spiritual Babylon. Let's turn back to Revelation chapter 17. The book of Revelation chapter 17. And I'll start from verse 3 to 5. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast, which was full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So this woman is sitting on a beast. The rider has control over the animal. Wherever the rider wants, that's where the horse goes. This beast is being described with having 7 heads and 10 horns, and my blasphemous name. It's the same beast that is described in Revelation 13 verse 1. And I saw a beast rising out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his head a blasphemous name. Okay, back to chapter 17, verse 4. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stone and pearls, having in her hand a golden cup full of abomination and the filthiness of her fornication. And on her forehead a name was written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abomination of the earth. That is the mystery Babylon. That is the spiritual Babylon. So, where in this world, if it's spiritual, it has to have to do with God. It has to have to do with a spiritual entity. Now, in all the churches, which church that the cardinals and the popes and dress like that, as described, and put wine in a golden cup for communion? Which church? One church, the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, the spiritual Babylon, having a blasphemous name, vicarious Philadelphia, in place of the Son of God. Let's turn to Revelation 13 again, verse 11. You see, the first beast is Revelation 13, verse 1. And the second beast, Revelation 13, verse 11. Then I saw another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and spoke like a dragon. He has 2 horns like a lamb. Now, a lamb is a representation of the Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, who we call Jesus Christ. The lamb is a representation of Christ. The dragon is Satan himself. Now, the first beast, if he is the second beast, if he has a representation of Christ, then we are talking of spiritual. The first beast in verse 2. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard, his feet like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and a great authority. The dragon gave him his throne, the power, and great authority. So, this beast is going to do things that the dragon, Satan, wants him to do, because he has put him in place. But the second beast, according to the Bible, he has 2 horns like a lamb, but spoke like a dragon. So the dragon himself has manifested within him, inside him. And the two are going to work together. The one world government, which Obama will be the leader, and the one world religion, which Pope Francis will be the leader. The two will work together. Now let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 and 4. Then you go to 7. Let no one deceive you by enemies, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first, and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, and all that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Again, there's only one church, that the Pope has a throne in the house of God, sits like a God, and wear a cap, a hat written in it, Vicarious Philadelphia, in place of the Son of God. Verse 7, for the mystery of lawlessness. Mystery means, when you say mystery Babylon, mystery means something that is hidden, that we know it exists, but it has not come to the physical yet. It's a mystery. So it requires revelation to be revealed to you. God has to reveal it to you in order to understand it. And that's exactly what he has done. Verse 7, for the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Only he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way. And I've told you, Donald Trump, that is his assignment. That's why he is dismantling the things that Obama put in place. Know that The name Babylon is confusion. So both the physical Babylon and the spiritual Babylon must have these characteristics of confusion. Now, let's see the physical Babylon. What type of confusion are you talking about? If you realize when Obama was in power, all the things that the executive orders that he signed were what? Gay marriages. He fought for Supreme Court to legalize gay marriages across the land. And he became the champion of gay and lesbian, the LGBTQ, whatever it is, community. Transgender. Now, if that is not confusion enough, you have born a child, and when the child is born, you say he is a boy or she is a girl. And at a certain point, he or she can decide that he looks like a boy, but he's a girl, so he can change to be a girl. You call it transgender. Another confusion. He found that Planned Parenthood than I would say all the presidents combined. Why were he doing all these things? And it goes on and on and on. Confusion. Because he represents Babylon. He must have the characteristics of Babylon, of confusion. Now, what about the spiritual Babylon? When the Roman Catholic Church came, they gave us what? A white Jesus, and gave a name Jesus. Yes, that name Jesus fitted because he is not the Jesus, the one who came and died for you and me. His name is Yahushua HaMashiach. That is his real name. And that name is so protected that nobody on earth can use that name. Nobody. If you go to the book of Enoch, the reason why nobody can use it is all written in there. That name is protected. Not Yeshua, because Yeshua is Joshua. God did not send an angel to come and give a name when the name already existed. And it's certainly not Jesus. But they gave you confusion and me. That a black man who came to die for you, they have given you a white man and given you a name that is not the name above all names. Sabbath, another confusion. So even people call themselves Christians, they don't know which one you should take. Should I worship Saturday? Should I worship Sunday? And the majority of the churches have fallen to this lie and continue to worship on Sunday, when we know when the Sabbath is. Confusion. Christmas, because he gave you a fake person called Jesus, he has to give you a fake date of birth to match the confusion. December 25th. And the one who came to die for you, was he born on December 25th? Confusion. So you see, these two Babylon have the exact same characteristics. But we have the physical Babylon, which is the United States, and the spiritual Babylon, which is the Roman Catholic Church. So then let's go back again to Revelation chapter 18, verse 4 and 5. I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues, for her sins have reached to heaven, and God, Yahuwah, has remembered her iniquities. Come out of her, my people." As for me, My job is to release what has been given to me, to blow the trumpet to you. And if you heard it and you still refuse to understand, to obey what the word is saying, what has been revealed, it's up to you. It's entirely up to you. I've given you the information. What you do with that information is your own problem. But the time is getting closer and closer and closer. President Trump will continue to dismantle all the New World Order agenda. People say he hasn't built a wall, he hasn't done taxes, he hasn't done that. No, that is the desire of Trump to build United States. But he did not go there on his own accord. God put him there. He ordained him. His job is what God purposed to put him there. And he's doing exactly that, dismantling all the pillars of the New World Order. I'm afraid, like I'm saying, according to the word, he will be taken away, out of the way. And there will be, the second dragon will come. In Revelation 13, the dragon who will come again. In Revelation 13, verse 3, and I saw one of his head as if he had been mortally wounded. This is what is happening right now. And the deadly wound was healed, and all the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshipped the dragon who gave the authority to the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months. And then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. And it was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And authority was given to him over every tribe, every tongue, and every nation. One world order. When he comes back, like I'm saying, the rapture people will be gone. But the remnant, the faithful, and the true, that God is going to let us remain here. It's all out war. But then we have the power of his ruler, Hakodash, his Holy Spirit. So thank you all for listening, and I will see you sometime next week. God bless.